Let's get honest. How often do you say the S word? Every day? Stress is related to various physical and psychological health problems, including anxiety, depression, obesity, and high blood pressure. But what is stress specifically? On a basic level, stress represents how our body reacts to change. Positive stress occurs when a person feels stimulated by a demanding situation that they can handle. On the flip side, negative stress occurs when a person feels threatened and unable to control a situation. Now, take a moment to consider your own life. What does stress mean to you specifically? Think of a stressful event and how this event has affected and still continues to affect you. Are the effects physical, emotional, and mental? So what is stress again? Stress is pressure from external circumstances that can cause internal tensions. It's important to acknowledge that stress may be taking a toll on you. If you attempt to be a super person and believe you can handle anything, you will end up hurting yourself or others. The best way to deal with stress is to accept it and not fight it. Instead, become aware of the stressors and your reactions. First, identify your personal stress reactions. Think about how exactly your body reacts to stress.
What our body does when facing a stressful event or circumstance is releasing chemicals that protect us from those stressors. And those chemicals cause fight or flight reactions, which is a signal that prepares us to either fight the stressor to eliminate it or get away from it as quickly as we can. And it causes physical reactions such as heart rate increase, sweating, or increased blood pressure. While these fight or flight responses can be helpful in a short term, a long-term exposure to these chemicals can cause deterioration in your heart or your body or your immune system, which can make you susceptible to physical diseases or illnesses. So stress can not only be triggered by negative or unpleasant events or circumstances in your life, but also it can also be triggered by positive or happy events in your life. For example, planning a wedding, graduating from college or school, being promoted to a higher position at your job, or moving to a new home can trigger stress. Having a better self-awareness can go a long way in being able to identify your stress triggers. It might involve taking an inventory of what's happening in your life right now and what are some of the things, asking yourself, what are some of the things that are stressing you out? So sometimes talking to someone that you trust, whether it be friends or family members or a therapist, can help you better understand what tends to stress you out more.
Now that you've identified your stressors, you can start changing and altering your perception of them, because some stressors are changeable. Reduce the stress by changing the stressors that you can.
To alter your perception of stress, the first thing and the most important thing you need to do is to acknowledge that you are under stress. And then number two is to acknowledge that stress is a normal human experience. So sometimes we create our own stress in our mind even when the situation or event itself is not threatening or challenging to us. So in that kind of circumstance, what might be helpful for us to do in order to change our perception of these stressors is to ask questions such as, what visible evidence is there that supports our beliefs or thoughts that are triggering all these reactions? And also ask yourself, what visible evidence is there that does not support or that are contrary to our beliefs or thoughts that are causing these stress reactions? Other questions that you might ask yourself would be questions such as, what is the worst thing that can really happen? And how bad is it going to be realistically? Another question you can ask would be, if a friend of mine is having the exact same thought and comes to me for help, what advice or suggestions would I give this person? Another thing you can do to change your perception is to pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you're facing a stressful situation. For example, you might be using words as shoulds, must, ought to, have to, and when you notice yourself using these kind of language, what you might consider doing is to choose it would be nice if or want to.
Learning stress management takes patience and commitment, but its benefits are priceless, both personally and professionally. By learning to take care of yourself while taking care of business, your work becomes more creative, effective, and fulfilling. By accepting stress and understanding how you can best deal with it, you will succeed as an individual.